this bulletin, trial of alleged multi-million-dollar scam begins in the Suva High Court. Political expert says without Fiji, the Pacific Islands is weak. An independent group calls for review of all natural resources legislations. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. A 52-year-old man died after being hit by a bus on Nokonoko Road, Lauvala Beach Estate in Nasinu this morning. It's believed the bus veered off the road and onto the footpath where the victim was walking. He was rushed to the CWM hospital where he later died. The bus will be examined by the Land Transport Authority officers to ascertain if there was any mechanical failure. The alleged multi-million-dollar scam case involving the upgrade of the Nausori Highland Road has begun in the Suva High Court. Businessman Faraz Jan Mohammed, former civil servants Iliesa Turangadati and Navitalai Tamanitokula are charged with bribery, obtaining a financial advantage and abuse of office. Aiser Liwaiono and Vijay Prasad have been charged with causing a loss. Chanel Sivan was in the court this morning.
It's alleged Firoz Jan Mohammed allegedly paid $110,100 to Turangadati and Tamanito Akula whilst they were employed with the then Department of National Roads. Mohammed then allegedly lodged false invoices and circumvented procedures to obtain an advantage of over $3 million. The incident allegedly occurred between February and July 2012. Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption lawyer Rashmi Aslam told the 5 assessors that the government is trying to improve the lives of Fijians in the interiors of Vitilevu by upgrading roads. The money allegedly fraudulently obtained was to be used in the improvement of the lives of many Fijians in the highlands of Bukuya covering Singatoka Valley and Navala in Ba. Aslam says FICAC will produce documents showing exaggeration of claims by the bulldozing company and falsified documents claiming for work that was not even started. The prosecutor also says there were alleged double payments done too and have evidence that people approving the payments in Suva received numerous bribes from the company. He says they will produce documents showing a pattern in the bribes received amounting to $110,100. The court heard the higher the amount of payments, the higher the bribes were. Judge Justice Paul Madigan told the court there is a possibility that the case will finish in 3 months' time. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
An expert on political affairs says without Fiji, the solidarity of the Pacific Islands Forum is weakened. USP Director of Politics and International Affairs, Dr. Sandra Tart, says the forum needs Fiji. Eleanor Torangaivu reports.
Fiji's decision not to attend the Pacific Islands Forum meeting in Papua New Guinea in September has received wide reaction. It wants Australia and New Zealand out of the grouping.
Fiji wants change, right, in the Pacific Islands Forum. It's trying to do that from outside. So at the moment it doesn't seem to be garnering a lot of support from other countries, but it's generating debate. Maybe that's what it wants.
Fiji was suspended from the forum in 2009, making it the first member to be suspended from the grouping since its establishment. Dr. Sandra Tart says without Fiji, the forum is incomplete.
Fiji should be there. And the comment has been made about Pacific Islands Development Forum being a place where these discussions could happen. They can, but at the moment not all leaders attend. Maybe sometime before we see that happening.
Dr. Tart says if the forum is to meet its purpose, it's a place where Pacific leaders in solidarity make high-level decisions to take to the international level.
Yes, the forum does need Fiji. There's a lot that happens that if Fiji is not part of those discussions, it leaves a weak link, in the system.
Dr. Sandra Tart says Fiji has time from now until the September Forum Leaders Summit to revisit its decision. And with the PAM 7 meeting in Japan scheduled for next month, it will be a chance for Prime Minister Vorengen Bainimarama to meet forum leaders and discuss the issue. Eleanor Torangaivu, FBC News.
An informal group, Ethauke Professionals, has called on the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Natural Resources to lobby a review of the current legislation on all natural resources. The group presented a submission to the committee. Maggie Boyle with the story.
Compensation is one of the issues highlighted by the group at today's session.
On compensation, the issue is that we've been just compensated on the tangible aspects of land, and intangible aspect of land is always been forgotten. So we need to take both up, tangible and intangible valuation, so we can have a full package, fair and just compensation as it's specified.
Here Vanganivula says when it comes to the ownership of minerals, Fiji can learn from legislation recently passed in the Pacific.
ABG, the autonomous Bougainville government, have just passed their law, and their mining law actually specifies that all minerals reverted to the landowners. But that's not what I'm saying right now. But what I'm trying to say is that Fiji needs to move away from its old law on payment of royalties and move into a relationship with the miners. The mining company, maybe 10%, 20%, 30%. That's for them to decide, the landowners and the mining companies.
Vanganivula argues that in order for Fiji to progress from its colonial shackles, it must review all legislation on natural resources. Committee Chair Choeli Dawaki says the presentation is being considered only as an information session for the members. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Police have launched an investigation into how a teenager was able to possess a firearm that claimed his life. An inquest file has also been opened into the circumstances surrounding the death of the 14-year-old in Lambasa. He was last seen alive by his parents when they were leaving for a function. Lambasa police were alerted about the incident after 11 p.m. Still to come on FBC News, over 8,000 speeding and reckless driving tickets issued in the first quarter of the year.
FM number 2 and Sierra Leone in Denmark Central Rental Support Nisapula.
Oya wa tisoni dalai.
Gonga emozidon.
Nama kikirau mena tolu kene bitu. Ena via kabi moliti kene borombuka.
Goria na lali nekabi. Bula FM number 2 and Sierra.
Investment Fiji has rejected a proposal for a service fee to supplement the income of tourism industry workers. Chief Executive Goro Mulatoit appeared before a parliamentary subcommittee today. Edwin Nund reports.
The proposal is for a specific fee levied on any activity dealing with tourism, something Investment Fiji is against.
We believe that the introduction of service fees will adversely impact on the affordability of Fiji as a tourist destination and therefore decrease visitor numbers, which could lead to reduced investments in tourism and decreased future employment in this sector.
The parliamentary subcommittee has been receiving submissions from a wide cross-section of organizations and the public. MP Vilyamengavoka, who used to be Tourism Fiji chief executive, says the fee would help industry workers.
I would not hold that to be true, that it will upset the apple cart, so to speak. There's also this contention that Fiji will become a very expensive destination. But on the other side of the coin, Fiji is also a very expensive place to live in.
However, Mulatoit stresses that Fiji is already an expensive destination with a service turnover tax of 5% and a $200 airport departure tax.
All workers need to be treated fairly and their welfare is of paramount importance. The introduction of service fees in the tourism industry might lead to wage inequality when compared to other sectors. Further, it is the role of Investment Fiji to attract foreign investment and stimulate exports. The introduction of service fees could have an adverse effect on investment, as visitor numbers might be contracting rather than expanding. Potential investors might therefore decide not to invest in Fiji, which will have a negative impact on new employment.
Investment Fiji suggests additional value adding to services which entice visitors to spend more money in Fiji, leading to more growth, increased investment, new jobs and more wealth for Fiji. Edwin Nund, FBC News.
A 45-year-old unemployed man has been charged in relation to a robbery at Arrowtown Mobile Service Station in Nandi a week ago. Jonethani Tawake appeared in the Nandi Magistrates Court this afternoon and was charged with serious assault and aggravated robbery. He has also been charged with 2 counts of aggravated robbery for his alleged involvement in a spate of robberies in Nandi town. Tawake has been remanded in police custody until May 13th. His case has been transferred to the Lautoka High Court. Another suspect is being questioned while police are looking for 3 other accomplices in the robbery. The Land Transport Authority has issued over 8,000 speeding and reckless driving traffic tickets in the first quarter of the year. Despite vigilant awareness and intense road advocacy work conducted right throughout the country, the LTA says this is a worrying trend. Ali Kimbia has more.
The speed camera, like several others installed on several roads, have been kept very busy. The speed cameras and radar guns have collectively clocked 8,251 speeding violations in the first quarter of the year.
So far, we have actually received information, credible information from members of the public amounting to 20, even 25 a day. Reports that are coming in of continuous violation, traffic infringement, violation in terms of reckless drivers, over speeding, rude drivers, unprofessional attitude among PSV drivers.
A total of 14,934 bookings were made in the first 4 months of this year. A total of 84,000 traffic infringement notices were issued last year, of which 55,000 comprised of speeding violations.
It's really good to know that LTA is actually doing something. At least they've got data now on about the drivers in Fiji. Secondly, the only thing is how they're gonna try and solve this case.
It just shows some of the drivers, they are not careful. I think that's something that drivers need to instill in themselves to practice safe driving.
LTA warns motorists that even though they will not be present at all locations to supervise and monitor traffic movement, there will be people on the ground who will be the authorities' eyes and ears, sending credible information to enable the authority to investigate and execute necessary disciplinary actions. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The Media Industry Development Authority is open to talks about revising the Media Decree 2010. Appearing on Fbctv's For the Record program last night, MIDA Chairman Ashwin Raj alluded to making positive changes to help the industry better itself. Ellen Stolz reports.
Individual companies, individual media companies.
Fijian Media Association President Ricardo Morris highlighted concerns raised by some journalists that the media decree is a hindrance to their work.
On the one hand, you're trying to promote an open and a free media, a media that's able to hold up a mirror to society without fear or favor. But on the other hand, you have thoughts of what would happen if you breach the decree.
MIDA Chairman Ashwin Raj agreed with the notion of a review of the decree, saying nothing is set in stone.
And so the whole idea of democracy is for, a multitude of actors to have a say about a piece of legislation that governs everybody's lives, in the industry.
Pacific Islands News Association President Moses Stevens says it's imperative that the media work hand in hand with the government when it comes to progress and not make complaints abroad.
FINA wants to create a media-friendly environment in the Pacific, meaning we're open to dialogue with our governments, to dialogue with members of the civil society, with the NGOs, regarding the work that we do. If they're not happy about anything that we do, we don't go out and issue press releases to Radio Australia or whatever. But we come and talk to our national media association, say, look, we don't agree to what your members are doing. And then this is our country. We have to move together.
Stevens says it's crucial for the bigger Pacific nations, like Fiji and Papua New Guinea, to work out a formula that works, because smaller nations look to us for support. While constructive dialogue is a positive sign of changes to come, the media industry in Fiji certainly has a long way to go to ensure its grievances are ironed out. Ellen Stolz, FBC News.
4 families victimized by fire today received $5,000 assistance grants from the government. Handing the checks to the families today, local government minister Praveen Kumar says this will help them rebuild their homes. He says this is an ongoing initiative which began last year and will continue throughout this year. The government has so far assisted 10 families who have lost either their homes or belongings to house fires. And on that note, it's time for sports now. What's the latest, Jamie? Monday night?
Thank you, Jackie. Yes, Monday night back on the ground again. Did you watch the fight over the weekend?
Yes, I did. I was very disappointed. I was all for Manny. All for Manny.
Seemed like everyone was cheering for Manny Pacquiao. So was I. Anyway, good evening. After the break, we take a look at the first round of the Vodafone Fiji Fact and Onak hopeful for an Olympic 7th gold from the region. These stories and more coming up.
छू 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 हे नमस्ते फीजी। आपके हर एक प्रॉब्लम की दवा लेकर मैं आ गई हूँ 9 से 12 बजे तक आपकी सहेली रेनू। छू 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 40 में 20 का दिखना है। मैं हूँ ना आपके साथ में मिर्ची एफएम पर 9 से 12 बजे तक मंडे टू फ्राइडे। मिर्ची इट्स हॉट।
Chris Cracknell says Fiji will need to be at the top of its game at the Glasgow tournament this weekend if it wants to win the World Series. The former England 7 skipper, who will be assisting Ben Ryan in the final 2 tournaments in Glasgow and London, says the side looks primed and focused on winning Fiji's 2nd World Series title.
Oh, it's huge. I think we've got a real chance of winning the World Series, and it's within Fiji's grasp, especially with the way that things can work out in Glasgow. We could play South Africa in the quarterfinals, so it's a great opportunity for Fiji to win the World Series. Just the boys have got to go and take out their pool games, win the first game, and build from there and take what we can in front of us to our advantage.
Fiji takes on Wales in its opening pool match at 11:42 p.m. on Saturday, then Portugal at 2:48 a.m. on Sunday, with its final pool game at 6:21 a.m. Sunday morning against Scotland. And you can watch all those games live on Fbctv. The Oceania National Olympic Committee is hoping that one of its affiliates will win a Rugby 7s gold medal at the 2016 Olympic Games in Brazil. After the Scotland Sevens this weekend, the picture should become much clearer as to which teams will finish in the top 4 of the current World Series. Those 4 will gain automatic qualification for the Olympics, while the others will face a qualifying process.
What we had hoped was that we would have at least 4 teams. Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, Samoa, Australia possibly, and Tonga. But Tonga's dropped away quite significantly. In the women's side, we still have at least 2, possibly 3 with Fiji, and still another possibility with PNG, I think, or Tonga or Samoa women.
The Bar football side escaped the scare at home as they edged Lautoka 3-2 in the first round of the Vodafone Fiji Fact yesterday. The men in black were on the back foot for most of the match, but did just enough to secure the 3 points. Rohit Deo reports.
Zaid working his way into the box. In it comes Abu Zaid. And Abu Zaid has sneaked it in the 43rd minute of play.
Abu Zaid was once again the saviour for the men in black as his goal in the dying stages of the match assured Bar go into the tournament proper with 3 points. The Bar coach was happy with the win and knows it was important to start the tournament with a victory.
Great win for the team. I guess the first game was very important, and getting 3 points in the first game was very important for us. And now we know that we have to now really work hard for the other 2 games.
However, Lal says they need to rectify errors which gifted Lautoka with 2 easy goals.
And a mistake by Sorolo.
The 2 goals that we considered was just silly mistakes by our defenders in there. But I guess we will be working on that this week. And yes, we want to fully prepare ourselves before we go for the next game in the Fiji Fact.
Bar faces Nandronga in their next match, and the men in black are wary of the Stallions.
And in the way is a mistake by Jonas.
We won't be letting any stones be unturned. I guess we will be going in full prepared. I know how much it takes to qualify for the semi-finals, and yes, we'll be working hard.
Ba plays Nandronga at 2:30 p.m. this Thursday at Nandi's Prince Charles Park. The men in black have started gaining momentum in the tournament. If they continue the pace they showed in the first match and iron out some errors they are making, they will be a hard team to stop from lifting the title come Sunday afternoon. Rohit Dev, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, Lambasa also kick-started their campaign on a high note. Though the Balsanjo Ready coach side left it late against Tailebu Naita Siri, Edwin Siam's brace gave the Northerners a 2-0 victory. Looking at the points table after the first round, Lambasa and Rewa at the top of Pool A with 3 points each, while in Pool B, defending champions Nandi and Giants Bar lead with 3 points each as well. The tournament resumes this Thursday at Nandi's Prince Charles Park. Athletics Fiji is wrapping up a 2-week coaching clinic for Level 1 accreditation in Suva. The participants come from a variety of backgrounds and are hoping to pursue a coaching career in athletics. Talen Dadakdaka has more.
By the end of the week, these participants will be receiving their Level 1 athletics coaching certification, having gone through a 10-day clinic. The course focuses on the basic skills of athletics with a view to training young kids as well as youths.
This Level 1 also is a bridge from kids athletics to youth coaching. So we are coaching, or we are training coaches that will train youth.
This is the only coaching certificate offered in the country through Athletics Fiji's partnership with the Australian government. Batimala hopes more women will undertake the course in the future to train female athletes.
We are encouraging women to take up this course so that they can go out and be trainers or coaches for our athletes and also to give more encouragement to the young female athletes that are wishing to take up this sport.
The coaching clinic will draw to an end on Friday, and participants will test their knowledge during an athletics competition for young kids on Saturday at the ANZ Stadium. Salendo Rakavak, FBC Sports.
The Oceania region has been applauded for using sports as a peace-building tool. International Olympic Committee President Thomas Bach commented during the Oceania National Olympic Committee's General Assembly in Suva.
And in your region, we can also see the great peace-building force of sport. Getting Australia and New Zealand together to the Pacific Games is an achievement in itself in this regard. And to have the two sporting powers in these regions being included in this Pacific Games, and again showing what sport can do and what sport can achieve.
This will be the first time for Australia and New Zealand to participate at the Pacific Games, which will be held in Papua New Guinea from July 4th to the 18th. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
Preparations are underway for the upcoming Fiji Institute of Accountants Congress, and President Renu Chan says it's a premier event not only for accountants but attracting leaders from both private and public sectors. With the theme "A Vision for the Future, Believe It and Achieve It," this year's annual Congress expects to attract more than 400 delegates. New Zealand's first female Prime Minister, Dame Jenny Shipley, and a former Governor of the Reserve Bank of India, Dr. Devuri Sabaro, are among high-profile speakers.
This year's Congress is more visionary, and you'll see that through our team, which is a vision for the future, believe it and achieve it. And it's going to challenge delegates to look at broader issues in the world of business.
The 43rd FIA Congress will be held from the 15th to the 17th of May. There were scattered showers over the interior and eastern parts of the large islands today due to the easterly winds. Weather in the west was generally clear. Of course, it was slightly cooler today in Suva and Savo as maximum temperatures reached 27 and 28 degrees respectively. Lambasa and Nandi hit 31 degrees. The forecast to midnight tomorrow, expect a cool night with temperatures in the low 20s. Tomorrow will be much like today with cloudy periods and scattered showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Looking ahead to Wednesday, more of the same. And recapping our main stories, trial of alleged multi-million-dollar scam begins in Suva High Court. Political expert says without Fiji, the Pacific Islands is weak. An independent group calls for a review of all natural resources legislations. Now to the results of last week's poll question we had asked. Should there be more organized activities for students during the school holidays? 79% said yes. This week we're asking, do we have an accurate picture of the crime rate? Visit our FBC website to take part. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply #FBC News. That's the news for tonight. Join the team again tomorrow at the same time. Bye for now.